Yo, it's the MOSHOW Chicago, and we are BACKAGAIN on another fantastic night. Yes, and if this is your first time watching the MOSHOW Chicago, I say you share the information with relatives, friends, coworkers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. I am glad to be back here doing a live. It has been over a year since I've done a live on the Mo Show Chicago. And to my correction with myself, I did a live on Mo Powers and thought that it was 6 months when actually it was a year ago. Wow. So I'm glad to be back here. And speaking of lives, I've been asking some YouTubers out there, how do I continuously promote my channel and build my numbers and everything? And no one responded to me with the exception of King Oz. King Oz. So I want to give you a thanks and give you a shout out, King Oz, for that great info and messages that he brings. So if you all haven't checked out King Oz, go over there and check out King Oz. In fact about it, King Oz and I was having a discussion in regards to history. And anybody out there, Mo Powers and King Oz versus anybody, with the exception of Young Pharaoh and the General. I had to throw that in there, okay? I've been doing some traveling. The Mo Show Chicago has been traveling all over the U.S. It's good to sit down for a minute. I can concentrate, get some things done, and spend some time with family, okay? But needless to say, it is great being back, and I want to thank you all for being here. These lights are hot, even though we got the AC going. We got the AC going, but it's a fantastic night. And Chicago, I tell you, Chicago is off the chain right now. 50 shot, 2 dead. It has been a massacre. The week prior to that, how many? 100 and something? No, 64 people. No, that was KTS, right? KTS, the rapper, got shot 64 times walking out of Cook County Jail. Walking out of Cook County Jail. And if you all do not know what KTS stands for, that means kill to survive. Kill to survive. In fact about it, according to the streets, according to the streets, and according to the gang department of the Chicago Police Department, this KTS is a spinoff and is a compilation of GDs and vice lords, to bring about some peace. Basically being a neutral gangbanger. How do you become a neutral gangbanger? I mean, hopefully these are the gangbangers that can help squash the beef. Yes, the KTS people. Yeah, because it's a mess here in Chicago. 50 shot, 2 dead. So far, I'm sure that the numbers will change sometime by the afternoon. Crazy, but true. We're living in a bloodbath city here. It is like Chirac. As I stated in a prior video on Mo Powers, it's worse than Vietnam. It's worse than Vietnam. Can you imagine living in Vietnam? Could you? Vietnam in war, napalm, bombs, grenades, M14s at that time, not 16s, but 14s at that time. You had people, soldiers, shooting themselves so that they would not do what? Get killed. So if they shoot themselves, they can leave. In Chicago, you can't leave. You can leave if you have the finances to. Or you can change the environment in which you live. You can change the environment in which you live. You, those who are living those communities, are responsible for what takes place in those communities. You're responsible for that. Chicago. And speaking about here in Chicago, King Von, who's dead. According to the feds, he is the shooter, suspect, alleged shooter of Gakira K.I. Barnes, the 17-year-old girl whom they say he cut a TV off, pumped 9 into her face, chest, all over. Body shots, top shots. Yeah. And she wasn't no angel. She was a gangbanger herself. She was a gangbanger herself. In fact, she represented GDs, right? She represented GDs, right? Since Tuka got killed and some more friends of hers got killed, she was going to be a social worker. Yet, after upon seeing the police kill one of her friends, gangs kill her friends, you know, your environment sculptures you. Could you imagine what life she could have had she not went on the street? But according to the sources on the street and what's in the newspaper, gang reports, this chick had what, 17 bodies? Dig this here. Died at 17, 17 bodies. I'm just saying. And would not date a guy unless he had a couple of bodies under him. See what the streets will do to you? Do you see what the streets will do to you? The streets will get you killed. There is no love in the streets. And King Von, well, he's dead. So no charges are going to take place. No court is going to be held. And no one will be held responsible for the killing of Gakira K.I. Barnes, whom herself had more bodies than King Von. It's outrageous in the city. It's outrageous. How long can you survive in a war zone? How long can you survive in a war zone? And in the war zone, I tell you, I'll get to that if you have to follow me. I have to be very careful with this demo. Why I didn't put this information up earlier or why I didn't bust it live earlier. I was researching, I was doing other stuff, and I was working on a storyboard for a video that I'll be doing this week with a Milwaukee artist. So I'll be going there to Milwaukee and doing the video and whatnot and everything. So I'm still busy here, getting out of Chicago. It's crazy here. What do you do about that? Speaking of killings, speaking of shootings, did you all know that Oklahoma mother, Tiffany Henderson, and her son, what is her son name? Tavion. Her son name is Tavion. Do you know they had a shootout? A mother and her son had a shootout. He was 17 years old as well. What's with the number 17 versus 19? Shouts out to Mother Tanetta, the number 19. But anyway, 17 years old, had a shootout with his mother. Crazy. Unheard of in that community in Oklahoma, in an apartment complex. Son pronounced dead at the hospital. Mother is still suffering from her injuries, basically saying that from the looks of it, she'll be okay. We don't know why that took place, but parents and children obviously are not getting along in Black America. In Black America. Remember that kid that killed his mother in New York for asking him to go get a job? Do y'all remember that? I remember doing that story. But the killing, King Von is also attached to who? Lil Dirk. Lil Dirk. And as we know, Lil Dirk just did what? He just got a home invasion. Someone attempted to kill him, then steal his valuables. He was connected to King Von. Not to mention the fact that Atlanta and Chicago rappers, they're not doing too well right now. They don't have a very good rapping relationship at all. Is anybody out there? Say something in the comment section. Say something in the comment section. Now, with all of this killing, it speaks about what? I mean, end of civilization, people killing one another. Some Bible thumpers may say it's Armageddon. Okay? But if you bear with me a minute, speaking of Armageddon, I got something for you all here. MIT. This is from MIT. Okay? And I have to be very careful with what I say in this live video because they are actually taking people's YouTube channels away. Even for those who don't even have a lot of subscribers. But if you haven't done so already, press that subscribe button. Tell your friends, tell your families, tell your coworkers. Share all of this information with whom you run into contact with. Share this information with whomever you come into contact with and tell them to press the subscribe button, okay? But getting back to the Armageddon and the killings and the shootings, because as far as religious people are concerned, we are living in Armageddon. But according to MIT, which is what? Yes. You know that institute that's in Massachusetts? Yes. Now, the research study shows that the collapse of the world, business, societies, is in 2040. This is what MIT predicts. And here, see what it says? Technology. What? MIT. I'm not lying to you. I have to be very careful, and I want all of those people that's in the back of YouTube there. Yeah, I'm giving you references. Yeah, so you can't say that I have no references or it's something that I just made up. No, I didn't make this up. So I'm giving references to everybody. In fact, about it, if you get a chance, an opportunity to continue to keep watching the show, I want you to do your research on any information that I give you. Do not take my word for it. In fact, about it, don't take anybody's word for anything. Do your own research. Do your own thinking. As in the words of Malcolm, see for yourself, look for yourself, think for yourself, read for yourself. Okay? But this study here is done by MIT, Armageddon, 1972. And it states that a team of scientists at Massachusetts Institute of Technology had predicted in 1972 that humanity's current civilization is likely to end in the mid-21st century. While the report was heavily criticized at the time, new research reveals that the predictions have been early corrected so far, forecasting that the collapse of society on track to happen by what? 2040. New research published in the Yale Journal of Industrial Ecology evaluated how things have progressed since the initial report was published in 1972. The new study concluded that the world could indeed witness the collapse of society as early as 2040. However, this will only happen if we continue the business as usual over exploitation, overpopulation, and resource extraction. This is a fantastic article that I found because it's going to go into some more information that we got going on in this live. The new research study authored by Gaia Harrington, the sustainability of dynamic system analysis lead at the KPMG accounting firm, seemingly suggests that there is still hope for society as long as we can change our ways. Using 10 variables, Harrington checked and analyzed the MIT model, used a world simulation model to determine how this world would fare between 1972 and 2060. to see how accurately predictive it has been. The variables include fertility rates, population, mortality rates, industrial output, services, food productions, resources, ecological footprint, and human software. Chips, you all. The new study takes the model predictions on these markers and compares them to the empirical data. As a result, Harrington was able to identify how close the scientist's prediction is to reality. Moreover, she figured out the position the world is currently in based on the model. The study found we are trending along the line with a couple of scenarios, neither of which is good. These scenarios are the comprehensive technology, called CT, abbreviation, and the business as usual, BAU 2. The comprehensive technology scenario predicts economic decline begins right now. It notes several negative outcomes, including short-term decline in food production and wild swings across various categories like industrial output. In this scenario, however, society does not collapse, and humanity's bad habit of draining resources will come to an end with the development of new sustainable technologies. Food production will also recover eventually. Meanwhile, the business as usual scenario assumes that humans will not make any changes to their current behavior. This scenario predicts that the economic growth will begin to sputter very soon and hit a wall around 2030. And we are in what? 2021? However, instead of stagnation, the scenario foresees things would start to collapse toward year 2040. Food production, population, industrial output, and all other categories will take a steep decline while population skyrockets. To clear things up, Harrington told Motherboard that this predicted collapse does not mean that humanity will cease to exist. However, it will destroy the way of life as we know it. Economic and industrial growth will stop and then decline, which will hurt food production and standards of living. In terms of timing, the business as usual 2 scenario shows a steep decline to set in and around 2040, she explained to the outlet. Wow. Now, what am I saying here? Now I'm getting hot. So the jacket's got to come off. Got this these lights going nuts here. But dig this here. Yes, that has already started. Haven't they've been talking about food shortages already? They've already been saying chickens. We got a shortage of chickens. As I said in another video, blame Chick-fil-A. I'm just saying, it's never a short line. Never. Anywhere you go, anywhere I've been across the country, never a short line in Chick-fil-A unless it's when they first opening and right before they are closing. Other than that, what do we have? A chicken shortage. But anyway, with this MIT report that I just gave you all, don't we see the collapse of this coming already? Don't we see this collapse coming already? Yes, we do. In fact about it, it has gotten so bad and people have redirected their energy. Did you know that 4 million people quit their jobs in April? Yeah, 4 million people quit their jobs this past April. And to make it worse, in May, what happened? 3.7 million quit their jobs as well. Quit their jobs as well. Where did I get this information from? The Dallas Morning News. I got that information from the Dallas Morning News. So if you want some references, there you have it. King Von, Chicago news, WGN. That's all over. TV, internet, it's all over the place. This MIT project from the technology magazine, right? Article. Saw that. It's sad that we have social media, yet and still social media censors what you say. Social media censors what you say. Unless you're talking about something religious or something foul, then you might not get censored. You can do all type of crazy, disrespectful things to yourself, to others on social media. It don't get flagged, it don't get a strike, a second strike. You don't go to jail, social media jail, that doesn't even occur. But when you tell the truth, Jesus lied. He said that the truth will set you free. Well, the truth will get you killed. The truth will get your YouTube channel cut off. That's what the truth will do. The truth will get you blackballed. That's what the truth will do. The truth will hurt you. Set you free? I guess that depends on your definition of what you describe as free to be. Now, you think about that. Will the truth really set you free? No. When you go to court, will the truth set you free? No. In fact about it, there is a great high chance that if you end up in a court of law and you are an accused offender and you know you did it and you tell the truth, do you really think you're going to leave out that courtroom? Jesus lied. I'm just saying. Man, it's hot in here with these lights. Even though I got the air conditioner on, it's hot because we bringing you some fantastic hot news. Hot news. Armageddon, MIT. You got Dane Calloway. Anybody heard of Dane Calloway? Dane Calloway, one of the most respected YouTubers that I view because he's a real researcher. He's a real researcher. And he can prove to you what he's telling you about. You see? Yes, so I like that guy, Dane Calloway. Very informative young brother. And he said that Nat Turner is a fictional character made up by an act of Congress. Nat Turner, the famous Nat Turner that was born in 1831. Yeah. In Virginia. Was it Jamestown? In Virginia. And how he slaughtered all of these people, these white slave masters, how him and his band of men killed these slaves, had killed these white slave masters. Now, I myself had read the book, The Confessions of Nat Turner, twice, maybe 3 times within my life by William Styron. Now, needless to say, the information that Dane Calloway presented to us gives you a different perspective on if that story is really true. Just like the story of Harriet Tubman gave us another perspective to look at that history of Harriet Tubman, because he too said that she is a fictional character that was made up by an act of Congress. Now, I don't know about you, but when I used to go into libraries, I'm a nonfiction type of guy, right? I like a lot of nonfiction. Every now and then I may read something fictional to give my brain a mental ejaculation or something like that. But when you go look for these books, like The Confessions of Nat Turner, when you go look for that book and some other books like Harriet Tubman, where do you find these books? Where are they at categorically? You find those books in the fictional section. You find those books in the fictional section, not the non-fictional section. Have you ever thought about that? If you are a avid reader, I am. So Nat Turner, according to Dane Calloway, is fake. What do you think? Do you think Nat Turner is fake? 1831? If you didn't get a chance to go check the video out, check that video out by Dan Calloway, because it was a bomb for me. I mean, they even made movies about this, right? There was a big thing about it being released and how things really didn't end the way that story in the book ended. The book is always better. The movie is more of a visual, but the book is better if you're an avid reader, because you can make up your own visual versus looking at someone else's vision. You get your own vision. And I find that to be important because many people are looking for their success through the eyes of other people's vision. I'm just saying. What do you think about that? Interesting though, right? What's funny is that one of my YouTube viewers hit me up in the comment section and he said, Mo, I tune in from you time to time. Great information. However, none of these black people that you are talking to are not listening to you or don't consider themselves black like you, only through skin color. Meaning that they're not thinking like me. Meaning that they're not hearing me. Meaning that they don't want to hear it. Possibly, but however, seeing that this person is a Muslim, I will put my answer like this. Even though your prophet Muhammad, right? Even though he's another fictitious character, and he should also be found in the fictional section in the library. But needless to say, I want to thank him for viewing the Mo Show Chicago and for his comment, whether I agree with it or not. I don't have to agree with it. That's just his opinion. But however, he did tell me that these black men are not listening to me, and he's an Arab dude. And you know why he said that they're not listening to me? Because everyday viewing of the street is the evidence. He said that basically it's a hard job for you. And yes, it is. And I say to him, even your prophet, the fictional guy, the guy with no face, he had a hard time going to the people. In fact, he fought people over that which he said he was doing, the work of God. That's a whole nother story. But needless to say, he did it. Moses did it. In the Christian Bible, right? People didn't believe in what Moses was saying, but he did it. People didn't believe Jeremiah. Hell, people didn't believe Jesus, another fictional character that should be found in the fictional section of the library. I'm just saying, right? Needless to say, he said that he said what the Father gives him to speak. It didn't care. He didn't care about what people thought. he spoke it. And he spoke the truth so much. He spoke the truth so much that the truth did not set him free. He became a wanted man by the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Needless to say, he wasn't a punk. He wasn't a punk according to the story. But if he was God's son, why would God leave him hanging on that cross over there? Seeing that the truth will set you free. The truth will get you killed. The truth will have the feds watching you. Yeah, that's what truth does. Yeah. If there was a reward for telling truth, if there was a reward for telling truth, everybody would be telling the truth. But we live in a world of wickedness and lies and deceit that truth is being erased out. It's being hidden. It's being covered. And when truth rises to the surface, it's not too much heard, except for those whom are supposed to hear it. Because everybody's not going to hear truth. I don't care if it's historical truth, everybody's not going to hear it. Because as it states in one of those fictional books, right? People were sporting and playing. People were sporting and playing. Sport and play. No truth. In fact, about it, if you ask 100 people, would they rather have a truthful conversation or would they like a conversation that's full of lies and entertainment? I'm just saying. Think about that. People got questions for me in regards to that jab. In regards to that jab. People asking me about that jab. And my answer to you in regards to the jab, think about those millions of workers who just lost their jobs as to why they quit. They didn't lose their jobs. They quit their jobs. They quit their jobs. And why did they quit their jobs? Many during that time that they've been off work, unemployed, they've seen a better way out. They had time to resurrect. Some people like working from home. They don't want to go back to the office. And that's according to the report also found in Dallas Morning News. 42% of people will not go back to work if they are not remote. They'll find another job that's remote. They have more freedom to do what they want to do. As long as they do their job that they are employed to do. Right? Would you yourself, would you rather be a at-home worker or someone who has to get up in the morning, get the gas, deal with traffic? And in traffic, well, you might get into an accident or you might meet somebody that's got some road rage that may want to harm you. People feel safe in their homes. They don't have to get dressed, put on a blouse, fluff their hair, shave a little or not. Man or woman. People are comfortable with working at home. Not to mention the fact that they can't pay for what? Babysitters. Babysitters cost. Do you know how much babysitters make? Do you know how much money they save by working from home? I think that plans had reversed a little bit in this tale of a story. I'm just saying. But getting to that jab, people are afraid. People are afraid to go back out there and deal with people with the current minimum wage situation. People working minimum wage can't even pay their rent today. Minimum wage workers cannot pay their rent today. Now you think about how much your rent is and how much you make and how much you have to spend, which is basically a fixed income or a fixed, not a fixed income, but a fixed expense. Yes, that's the word. Fixed expense. Think about your fixed expenses and what you have to do to meet those fixed expenses. Not to mention the fact that you probably have to go and deal with a crummy boss at work who like to talk madness to you all day. Well, do you know some Nebraska fast food workers? You know what they did? At a Burger King in Nebraska, they put, the sign up on the top and said, "We all quit. Sorry for the inconvenience." Sorry for the inconvenience. Sorry for the inconvenience. The economy. Remember that MIT study now. Remember that MIT study. And this was from 72 up until, yeah, but it's shooting for 2040. Not to mention, you have to think about why people getting that jab. That also, has a big something to do with it. Has a big something to do with it. And speaking of the jabs, if you go to the Boston Globe, if you read the Boston Globe, yes, the Boston Globe newspaper, in the Boston Globe, it talks about the breakthrough report. And if you're not familiar with the breakthrough report, I highly recommend that you look at the breakthrough report, because in that it explains to you how people that in Boston, 79 of them have died with full jabs, Not to mention the fact that over 300 were hospitalized, fully jabbed. Now, the CDC doesn't keep up with those numbers anymore. Why? You will have to research that. And the feds are now regulating the breakthrough report. That's very, very important for you to read. And in the process of reading the breakthrough report, if you haven't done so already, after you finish watching this live stream, which I guess no one is out there at this time of day. Anybody out there? It's like what? 2 a.m.? 2 a.m. is better than no a.m., okay? And from the looks of it, you'll see me doing lives more often. A lot more often. But anyway, this breakthrough report thing, go read that for yourself. Research that. Now, what I can tell you, you can also research the NSSM, pencil, paper, NSSM, which is the National Security Study Memorandum. Henry Kissinger, 1974. And this still applies to today. And it's in regards to, but the video, it's regards to depopulation. But in that video that I just told you about, think before you do it, which is 3 videos down from this video. Think before you do it. Watch that video. Watch that video. Watch that video. Tell everybody you know to watch that video. And that will answer some of your questions in regards to the jab. Yeah. And this coming from Boston Globe. Okay. Not to mention other resources like WebMD. Yeah. It's real out here. But you know what I do? You know what I do when they keep people caught up with terrorism? Terrorism? I get me a can of Lysol. That's what I do. I get me a can of Lysol because Lysol does a lot of things. And if you read on the back of a can of Lysol, you see exactly what I'm saying. Now, Biden is going door to door. He said he's sending people door to door. He's sending people door to door to see who hasn't got the jab. What? Because they say, you know, there's an uptick. There's an uptick for people not having the jab. And they're going to those doors in those highly risk states, as Dr. Fauci mentioned 5 of them. And just to give you a rundown on some of them: Utah, Nevada, Arkansas, Missouri, and I want to say Florida. But I know those 4 for sure. And be aware while you're traveling. They say there's an uptick. But what are you going to do when they come to your door asking you, do you have the jab? And they will administer the jab right there. Watch the video. Think before you do it. I spoke about this last year when they had the same technique going on over in Amsterdam, and they were going to people's doors. And I can't tell you the exact result because I'm thinking 1 or 2 things, but it wasn't good for those who did not have the jab over there in Amsterdam last year. Watch the video. Think before you do it. 3 videos down from this one. Now, they say that this is a mandate for those who have not got the jab. Come on now. A people or a system that does not have your best interests at hand, as in the words of the person in that video, you have to watch that video, said that they don't have a choice. He said that we don't have a choice. Who am I talking about? Watch the video. 3 videos down. Think before you do it. And in that video, he said that they think that they have a choice. And now Joe Biden made an order to, like, hey, get on to these states. Get on to these states that has an uptick. Be careful. Be careful out there. Be careful of what you do. Because like I said, I just give me a can of Lysol. Give me a can of Lysol. Lysol does a lot. Stand away from stores, parties, big stores where everybody's hanging out, not just doing a lot of shopping, even though that'll kill you too. Going shopping to get you killed. Going to work will get you killed. Going to a restaurant will get you killed. Okay? Even they will snatch your kids right in front of you, like that man did in New York, 25 years old. Snatched the baby son right in front of her face and tried to put him in the car and take him away. Yeah. That'll get you killed too. That'll get you killed too. What if the lady had a banger? What if the lady had a banger? Seeing that everybody's walking around with bangers. You got to be careful. You're flying, you got to be careful. Mask mandate in LA. Mask mandate in LA. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Are you following me? Are you keeping up with me? I'm just saying. And on top of that, with this mask mandate in indoor, what they call it, indoor public settings. Well, there's an indoor public setting in Los Angeles, you have to have a mask. You get on the plane, you have to have a mask. You get on Greyhound, you got to have a mask. You get on Amtrak, you got to have a mask. You go to LA in an indoor setting, you got to have a mask. And San Francisco and Las Vegas is recommending that people strap up, put a diaper back on your face. You all thought that this was over. I told you last year it's gonna be a while. Maybe like 3 years. This is gonna be a while. Get you some Lysol. I'm just saying. You don't have to believe me. Just look on the back of a Lysol can. And you'll find your answers right there. Also, check out that NSSM, the National Security Study Memorandum that I spoke to you about. That's very important. Not only will that give you some input, go to my video that I made on my other channel, the Georgia Guidestones, where they are depopulating the planet to 500 million people. This is on the agenda. This is on the agenda. Agenda 21. Agenda 21. If you all are asleep, you need to wake up. One person told me in my family, they told me if I had some information for them that could save their life, don't give it to them. Wow. So you know what? I won't. I won't. I'll let you die. Sad, but true. That's what they asked for. That's what they asked for. Because they believe in the people that giving them the jab. Outrageous. Anyway, leave your comments in the comment section, you all. It's been a great live. I'm going to be doing lives more often. I want to thank you. Seems to me nobody's out there, so I guess I did this live for myself. But I didn't do it for myself because somebody will eventually see this video. You will see this video. You will do your research. You would press that subscribe button, and you would recommend that other people press that subscribe button. And when you press that subscribe button, there's a little bell. Press that bell as well so that you will get all the notifications of videos that I upload or when I go live. It has been a fantastic time with you all. Remember, it is your third eye that makes you shine like jewelry, and get you some Lysol. Peace out.